Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm recreating the pageant makeup look of the iconic Chidinma Adetshina, Miss Nigeria and the winner of Miss Universe Africa and Oceania. Of course, I start with clean and prepped skin, and then I'm going to move on to foundation. Make sure the match is nice and then blend it in. Always take your time blending it in, make sure it melts into the skin, and I'm taking it down to her neck. Now I'm going in with cream contour, just to add some dimension all over her cheekbones, her forehead, her jawline, her nose, all of that. Now I'm going in with a cream blush. Chidinma's look was really bronzy, really glowy, so I'm only going to go lightly with the blush. I'm not going to go heavy at all. Next, I'm going to apply my concealer in every place I want to highlight. So that's under the eyes, the forehead, the nose, the chin, and the upper lip area. So there's this thing I started doing lately, and you can try it and see if it works for you. I started adding like some whiskers to the upper and lower lip area to define the lip area without overpowering the foundation. It's been working out nicely for me, and I would like to suggest it. So I'm just taking my time blending. When you're blending your concealer, I would suggest you start from the edges first. So you blend out the edges before you go like in the center to keep the coverage, concentrated in the area where you need it, but to make sure you're blending the edges nicely, so that it blends into the foundation or, the other areas. When I'm done blending all the creams, I spray it down with some setting spray before I set it with powder. Before adding your setting powder, you could just blend out the creases under the eyes so that the powder doesn't set the creases in. Now I'm just going to set the concealer every place that I've added concealer on the face with some loose setting powder, and I am not baking. Next, I set the entire face with loose powder to mattify the face without adding any extra coverage. Next, I set the cream bronzer with powder bronzer and the cream blush with powder blush. So I prefer setting the whole face first before setting the cream blush and bronzer with powder, because it's just easier to blend, and it's also harder to overdo it with the blush or contour, since you have setting powder in between as a buffer. After all the setting powder was done, I sprayed the face down with setting spray before I started baking and doing the eyebrows. Once I bake the under eye, I go in with a brow gel and I brush the gel through the brow hairs. Then I brush them down with the spoolie before filling in the sparse areas of the brows. As you can see, my model has really thick brows, so I didn't have a lot of filling in to do. At the end of all of this, I conceal the brows, to make sure they are neat, and I do it little by little from the end to the inside of the brows. Now that the brows are done, it's time for eyeshadow. So I get a transition shade that is close to her skin tone and I pat it on her eyelids before I swipe to blend it in. Next, I go in with a darker eyeshadow and a smaller blending brush to define her crease and add some more depth to it. Like I always say, build in soft layers and be patient. Take your time when you're blending. Next, I take a black eyeshadow and I darken the outer third, just the outer third of the eye. And I'm being slow and patient with it. I'm building in light layers like I said before, and I'm going back and forth to make sure I have a clean blend. Next, I'm just going to add this brown bronzy shimmer to the eyelid and I'm going to build it up until I get the effect I want. Now I'm just patting out the bake and blending away the excess powder. Now I'm going in with setting powder just to make sure everything is seamless before I finish up the eyes. Now I'm going to line her eyes with the gel liner. I like to start with the waterline and then connect it with the upper lash line so that I can follow the natural shape of the eye and it gives me a nice angle for a wing if I decide to do a wing. So now I'm going to line the lower lash line pretty heavy with black eyeliner. Chidinma's lower lash line was really dark and really smoky, so that's what I'm going to try to recreate here. Next, I go in with some black eyeshadow to smoke out the eyeliner. Once the eyes are done, I move on to lips. I'm just going to do a simple peachy nude lip with a brown lip liner, a nude lipstick and a matching lip gloss. Here I'm just refreshing the blush and adding highlights just to bring back the life into her face before I go ahead and add the lashes and mascara off camera. Here I'm adding some highlighter to her chest and her shoulders just to give you a little more glow because Chidinma was looking really glowy in her pageant pictures. Finally, I'm just setting the face down, adding finishing touches, making sure everything is blended in nicely, melted in beautifully, and this is the end of my tutorial. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys like the look. Have a great day. Bye.